Okay, so in part B, when we're given a quadratic equation like this, where we have p squared plus 2p minus 24, here we're given that it's greater than 0, but for now we're going to find the critical values first, and then we're going to consider this inequality. So first, if I look at this and I try to factorize this, how I normally factorize is I write this term multiplied by the term here, but we have 1 here and we have negative 24 here. So I've got 24 times 1, and then I see that the subtraction of these two terms should give me 2. Why subtraction? Because we have a negative here. If it were a positive term, I would say that the addition of these two terms should give me a 2. I can say that 24 can be written as, let's say, 3 times 8. Subtraction 8 minus 3 does not give me 2. If I say that it's 2, 24, yep, 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is also 24. 4 and 6 are also factors of 24. And I can say that 6 minus 4 gives me 24. Sorry, not 24. 6 minus 4 gives me 2. So these two I can use to factorize. So what I'm going to say is that p squared, now take care of the signs here, because we need positive 2, and obviously we're subtracting these, so the signs of these are going to be different. Because we need a positive, so the bigger term has to be positive. So I'm going to say plus 6p minus 4p, because if I said negative 6p plus 4p, I would get negative 2p. Okay, so if this term was negative 2p, I would write negative 6p plus 4p, but because this is positive, I'm going to say that this is 6p minus 4p minus 24 greater than 0. Simplifying, factorizing these, I've got p common here, and we've got p plus 6 minus 4 and 24. So I've got 4 common here. And because I've pulled out a negative from here, I would say p, and then because I've got a negative out, this sign is going to become positive. And then 24 is 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So we can say that negative 4 times p is negative 4p, and negative 4 times positive 6 is negative 24, right? So greater than 0. Now, I can write these down as factors. P minus 4 and p plus 6 is greater than 0. Critical values, if I sketch a graph for you, we've got a value at 6, and we've also got a value at negative 4. These are the values where the graph of p crosses, this graph crosses the x-axis. So here, and I'm going to say, is this graph positive? Yeah, because it's positive p squared, it's a U-shaped graph, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just for the sake of explanation. Now, looking at this inequality, the critical values, we can say that the critical values here are p equals 4. Oh, I just discovered I made a mistake here. This should be negative 6, and this value should be positive 4. I made a mistake because I did not write this step before sketching the graph. So basically, when we equate these factors to 0, p minus 4 equals 0, we get p equals positive 4, and p plus 6 equals 0, we get p equals negative 6. So on the graph, on the negative side, I would have negative 6, and on the positive side, I would have positive 4, not positive 6. All right? So that's the graph. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know that this should be more to the left, but it's okay. I hope you don't make such a mistake in your exam. Anyway, because the inequality says that this equation, basically this graph, is greater than 0 wherever the values of p are. So we're going to see, because this line represents 0, and it's greater than 0 above this line, so it's all up here, right? So the graph goes above 0 here, and below 0, I'm going to make it in blue. So this is all below 0, and the red part is above 0. In this question, we're looking at above 0, so I'm just going to stick to that. Above 0, it is where p is less than -6. I'm just going to write this out again to make it more clear. This is -6. So it's less than -6. It's to the left. So p is less than -6. And here, it's going to the right. The graph goes like this to the right. So it's greater than 4. So p is greater than 4. So the set of possible values of p, they are p greater than 4 and p less than -6. So I hope it was a clear explanation. I did make a mistake here in this critical values part. So make sure that you write this before you sketch the graph so that you don't make the mistake. And sketching the graph helps us because we can visualize a problem. We can highlight the points where it is above 0 or where it is below 0. If, for example, in the question they had asked that this equation is less than 0, then I would look at the blue part, and the answer then would be p greater than -6, because it would go to the right from here, and then p less than 4. So it would be between -6 and 4. So p would basically be between -6 and 4. That would be the answer then, the range of values of p. All right, here they've not mentioned that p is a positive constant in the question. Sometimes they do mention that p is a positive constant. Then make sure that you write your answer as p is greater than 4 only. Don't write p is less than -6, because less than -6, any value would be negative. So that can't be our answer, because in the question they've given the condition that p is a positive number. They could also say that p is a negative number. So make sure you look at the question and then you give your answer. But here they've just said that p is a constant, so we're going to write both of these inequalities or conditions as our answer.